Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60, and the last video that you're going to see from me from the Wander Realm Resort Hotel in Nanning, China. Yes, today is release day. We did our last COVID-19 test yesterday morning, both Wei Fong and I. The Chinese have decided to charge people for these things 2 days, actually 3 days ago now, 2 days ago when we took it. They said that they're no longer going to be paying for the COVID-19 test, and each person to get out of quarantine has to pay for their own. I can understand that, because why should it cost them instead of us? We're the ones that are coming to China and looking for a safe haven, I guess. So today we get to go, and we're going to be picked up by Ling, the lady that got Mimi, our cat. So she's bringing the cat with her, and we're going to be free today. So from this point on, we're going to be out in Nanning City in the real world instead of just locked in a room. It's 14 days in a hotel room without being able to go out is a long time. Even a nice place like this, I was getting so bored out of my gourd, and Gweilo ran out of baijiu, no beer. Oh, it was a long road to hoe, guys. I've noticed but as I usually say, but that's not what this video is about. Well, it is, because I'm going to be sort of videotaping along our leaving of this place and stuff. I don't know if it's going to make it into the next video or not, or maybe even this one. I don't know. I never know until I start editing. But that's not what this video is about. The hate, the sheer hate that I see on my channel in the comment section. And you know, there used to be a lot of hate. Fuck China, oh, nuke that place, they're dirty, all this other stuff. But it's getting worse and worse. Over the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I've seen a real big uptick in the hate speech coming out of, I don't know, I gotta say it, it's out of the United States. It's just one of those things that it's like, they blame China for everything. It's, even if this virus did start in China, it wasn't intentional. But these haters seem to think that every Chinese or every Asian person intentionally set this upon the world. And they voice it over and over and over again in the comment section, not only on my channel, but talking with Matt from JO Nation and talking with Alex from Reporterfy Media. I think Daniel was stating that there's a lot of hate there too, and it's just blatant hate. It has no rhyme or reason behind it. It's just we hate you, and that's all there is to it. And so fuck you, and I wish you die, and all of this other stuff. It's just like, holy smokes, man. And I get it from Canadians too. I would imagine they're probably Eastern Canadian, because Western Canadians don't think that way. They're more of a I don't know, homey type of nice beer drinking boys and stuff like that. Yeah, conservatives, you got it. Anyway, I'm gonna start muting some of these haters, because it's getting just too much for the channel. I like the channel to be sort of a positive place. Talking about ready to get out of here, I was up at like 5:45 this morning, had a shower. Yeah, you got her. Gweilo's I shaved yesterday, but yeah, I'm getting ready for hitting the streets of Nanning, and you can't go out there looking like you're an old drunken bum off, just crawling out of a tent on Vancouver Island. You know what I mean. You've seen the last videos. It's okay for when you're in quarantine, but when you're out and about, you gotta start looking proper there, Gweilo. It's I was looking pretty ratty there for a while, and some people said, oh, it looks good, and other people said, you look like an old bum off the street, Gweilo. So I looked in the mirror, and I sort of side with the people that say, Gweilo, you look like an old bum off the street. So off it went. talked to my brother Warren last night in Regina, Saskatchewan, letting the family know that Wei Fong and I won't be back to Canada this year. We've decided to hunker down here in Nanning City and the area type thing. We'll be down in Bobai, maybe into Yulin and places like that, but basically into the Nanning area. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. But you see, we've got a visa, and that visa is only good for 120 days in China at any one time. So one of our first things that we're going to be doing when we get out of here, after Wei Fong goes and gets her medical checkups done, is we're going to go and apply for a resident permit. As everybody knows, all visa resident permits have been temporarily suspended here in China, and I don't know how long that's going to last. And you can go apply for another one. It has to be after March the 28th that you apply. And because we have an old person here in China, we can apply for not temporary, but resident permit here in China. And we have run on those for a long time before we got our visa this last time. So off to get medicals done and off to get a resident permit, so we don't have to leave China for 2-3 years if we don't want to. And until things sort of smarten up in the Western world, or even the Eastern world, Southeast Asia and Malaysia and Thailand, places like that now, we're not going anywhere. We're staying put right here in southern China. Both Wei Fong and I have been watching the numbers overseas in different places like the United States. Holy moly. Well, see, that's what happens when the government has herd immunity on their mind but doesn't tell their citizens that that's what they're doing. They've got domestic air flights going into the epicenters and out of the epicenters of places like Washington and New York, and where they've got a lot of the CV, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. When you've got Trump saying, "Oh, our doctors, our hospitals are perfect. We don't have anything. We've got this under control." Till last night when I watched the news and he was on there saying, "Oh, we're in for a really bad 2 or 3 weeks and stuff." It's sort of getting the population ready, stating, "Well, if it's only 100 or 200,000 people that die." Getting the population of the United States ready for a lot of hurt, a lot of lost family members, a lot of bad stuff coming down the tube there. And I sort of worry about it because Canada, where all my friends and family are in Canada, just north of there, so it's sort of worrisome that a country that is a first world country that has had a lot of time to prepare for this is taking this type of stance towards the CV. It just makes no sense at all. Their economy is going to go into the toilet. China's on its way out of that. China sort of did the right thing, I think, locking down everything. You're not leaving your house. Everybody that comes off an airplane, 14 days quarantine like me. You've got 4 people in your family, one person gets a ticket, goes out for a couple hours, gets groceries, whatever, and comes back. You're only allowed to buy so much because they know how many people in your family, so you can't hoard. Things like this, where the state sort of did it the other way. Oh, you're free to do whatever you want, and they did, and people are going to the beach, and people are having barbecues and walking in the parks, and so the idea that it's not taken seriously enough. You can see the ramifications of that on the news now in the United States, Italy, Spain, UK, even Canada now. She's starting to rear its ugly head in big numbers in Canada, and it's sort of distressing to see that. Being in a place like China right now where things are settled down and safe, actually, very safe. And I know there's a lot of haters out there saying, "Oh, they're fudging the numbers. They're not telling you." 21 million cell phones have gone silent in the last couple of months. Well, that's because everything's shut down and the cell phones are used for business. No sense paying that cell phone bill if the business is shut down right now. They'll re-spark them up after things get going, and things are getting going. The manufacturing manufacturing, what is it called, the PMI, how manufacturing is growing in China is at 52 point whatever percent. In other words, the economy is growing in China already. So as you can see, the rest of the world is in super recession and their economies are shrinking. The Chinese economy is growing. They did the right thing. They worked hard at it. It didn't come without a lot of sacrifice from a lot of people here in China. So I just wish the West would take a page out of the playbook of China, and maybe the haters could take a look at what China's done and give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, what if their numbers are right? Look around you and see what's happening around you. Don't blame the Chinese. Maybe blame your own politicians for their inability to deal with a crisis of this magnitude, like the Chinese, like the South Koreans, like the Singaporeans. But Singapore, I was watching the news on Singapore last night too, and they're starting to come back into a number of cases for the size of the country city, because Singapore is the city is the country type thing. So even Russia's starting to get a number of cases, but then again, Russians get sick, they're bulletproof, they'll just wipe their nose and go back to work type thing. Yeah, Russians. But not all Americans are haters. Both Alex from Reporterfy Media and myself, Gweilo 60, have been showing up on Old School Wolf Media. It's a YouTube channel out of the United States, and Wesley is the guy that runs it. He's got a very analytical mind. He's an American. I think he's pro-Trump, Republican, but in his and he does a lot of live streams. But in his videos, he's fair. He looks at all the angles, whether it's Democrat or Republican, and he tells what he thinks. And the people go on his channel and ask questions, and he gives them the answers, as he sees it. If he doesn't know about something, he's really quick with the computer and he looks it up, so he's got the information right in front of him. And so we show up because there on his channel. I noticed on his channel that there's some people that show up, make comments about China and derogatory comments. So we thought that we'd show up and maybe we could sway some minds or give people a better understanding of the China that we know. And Wesley opened his arms and even invited us on his channel to come on. So he's not one of those people that just says, "Oh, it's this way," and that's all there is to it. He's willing to listen, to learn, see different perspectives from different people, and that's what I like about his channel. So so you guys can see what I see. I'm gonna put a link in the description below to his channel. That's Old School Wolf Media. And go check him out. He does a lot of live stuff. If you've got any questions, he does mainly American stuff, but he does, if you've got a question on China, he'll look it up, he'll answer your questions, and Wesley's a pretty good guy. Go check his channel out. I'm pretty impressed by this guy, or I wouldn't promote him on my channel. So check it out in the link, or in the description, the link in the description. Check it out. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60, the last quarantine video, hopefully, oh, God willing, the last quarantine video from Gweilo 60, from Nanning, China. Hey, oh, and that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell, resubscribe, and put a couple of bucks on the Children's Patreon account. It's for poor rural Chinese children. They just need a helping hand, guys, and we can give them that. So help me help them. Thanks for watching. Bye now.